The theme today is, everyone write this down, think, practice. And what I mean by think, practice, in order for us to become the best version of ourselves, in order for us to become a better coach, entrepreneur, property investor, one of the greatest mistakes that we make as entrepreneurs is we wing it. We say to ourselves, I'm my own boss, I'm not taking advice from anybody else. So we don't practice. It is the equivalent of being an athlete and a sports team not practicing during the week and showing up at the game and completely not doing very well, and towards the end doing well. It said, had I only started well. It's the equivalent of playing golf and actually going in and you skip the driving range, you go on the first tee, you line up, and you go like this, and you're like, you blame the ball, the clubs, the wind, the sand, the greens, right? And it's everybody else's fault but yourself. And then you play well, maybe on the last 3 or 4 holes, when you finally start some rhythm, and you say to yourself this, had I just started off right, I would have done better. But then we repeat our same mistakes. Definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And so, just no different than a sports athlete or a sports team, I have practiced business. And what I mean by practice business is, I practice sales, I practice marketing, I practice branding, I practice networking, I practice reading people, I practice evaluating property deals, I practice evaluating business, so when I get into the zone, then I'm comfortable. Then I'm not surprised, because that's called think, practice first. The ability of a secret weapon for you to succeed is stop learning what's on the screen. And let's just say you're here, and this is a sales conference. It's not, but it's a sales conference, and I go, here are 18 ways on how to grow your sales. And then what happens is you then proceed going home, and you have 18 points out of practice sales, but it doesn't do anything because you never practiced it, right? You haven't embodied. Because the problem is that when you don't practice things, okay, you lack competence. And the more you do something, right, like anything, right? If you play golf every day, you'd become more competent. If you practice selling every day, you'd become more competent, right? Your job, the first day, you're nervous, but you become more competent. The more you do something, the more competent you become. And the second level of success is competence leads to a level of confidence. When I go and speak in stages of 10,000 people, just a few days ago, 3,000 plus people, and I get on stage, or just like today, I am competent on my skills because I know I'm going to nail it, because I know what I need to do, because success has become a natural act. And for many people, it is not a natural act because you lack confidence. So if you wake up in the morning and you are not confident about your marketing, how you sell, and how you position, how you network, what that is going to lead is to a blockage, and that's where fear comes in. And fear is the thing that takes our passion, and that fire that burns inside you, it extinguishes it. But the fire that all of you have, who have come from 87 plus countries, thousands of people, is something you can't put inside and then you can't put out. You are confident enough today to be here and flown all the way around the world because you had mega success on your brain, not mega excuses. And you will never succeed by having mega excuses. But remember, when people have excuses, they always have what's called plausible deniability. It is never their fault. Think about this. If it's never your fault, how do you learn from your mistakes? So you keep repeating the same thing over and over because you don't learn, you don't improve, because it's not your fault. So once you have confidence in your ability, and confidence comes from repetition, right? Taking the unknown out of it, that's when you're going to have success. And then once you have success, then what you can have is what's called significance. Many of you here want to change the world, and that's great. You want to help people, but you need to help yourself first. Nobody wants help from someone that has more problems than them. And then significance is making those around you successful. And then once you do that, that's when you can have a legacy. That's when you can make this planet a better place than when you first got here. My philosophy, something that has been ingrained by my coaches, is this. Anything that I can do that's once in a lifetime, I will do. Because no matter how much money you have, can't buy more time. You can't get experiences. Most people are born at 18 and die at 21 because they never went for it. They'll say, how much does it cost, rather than how much they make. Every single one of you will remember this date. These next 6 to 5 days, depending if you were here yesterday, you will never forget this event for as long as you live. Whether you're in the audience, whether you got pictures, whether you're on stage, but every single person who did not show here today or chose not to come, 1 year from today, they won't remember a thing that they did. They will live in an ocean of sameness, of excuses, rather than a lake of distinction. And to think like me, 8 moves ahead, is to think practice. To think like some of the greatest chess players of all time, they think 16 moves ahead. Because by thinking ahead, you eliminate the unknown. You should know what is going to happen next. You should know what they're going to say, what the objection is going to say, what the reaction is. What you need to see is see the vision. That's what people don't do, because most people don't have vision. So I'm going to tell you how to think like me, how to think practice. But first of all of you need to disrupt how you manage your time. Here's how every great entrepreneur, here's how I spend most of my time, and here's how I coach my clients of my time. 70% of your time should be spent on building and monetizing relationship. Your network equals your net worth. Who you spend time with is who you want to become. You want to be great? Hang out with great people. Want to be broke? Hang out with broke people. You want to be successful? If you hang out with broke people, find out what they do and do the opposite. So it's not just building relationship, it's monetizing them, showing the opportunities how you can work together. Every single day, I Google and I cold email 5 people. Many of the people that will be here during this event were as a result of a cold email, which you will benefit because you will learn from them. Some of you will be on stage with them. And many of you will get pictures with them, because every single day, no matter how much money, 50 plus companies and brands all over the world, 53 countries, right? Clients in 87 every day, because I know it takes one person, one deal, and one opportunity to change my life and my business. 20% is coming up with marketing and branding ideas. Coming up with ideas. Because you cannot allow your staff or outsource the idea generation. Your job is to come up with ideas, and for your team or outside companies to implement the ideas. You cannot expect people that are not successful, not millionaires, to come up with ideas that are going to make you millions if they're not millionaires themselves. And then 10% of your time should be spent managing and looking at the numbers, right? The numbers. Stop managing the business by your gut instinct. Your gut instinct is how you make decisions. But managing the number is how you build your business. One of the greatest things I've done in all of my companies, and what I teach at my house when people come to my house, or when I coach people and they listen to my program on Millionaire Flicks, I tell people, find out how much money you want to make and work backwards. Reverse engineer your wealth. Build your wealth, your success on the numbers. How many customers, how many deals, how many properties, how many offers. Build it by the numbers. That's how I've done it. And that's how I've done it no matter how busy I am. So from now on, now that we have the foundational blueprint of what Think Practice is all about, now what I will do is I will tell you how I come up with ideas. the breakthroughs, the greatness, the ideas, the disruption, the innovation, the way Gates and Jobs and Musk and all that. Step number one, write this down, random ideas. Right? You see an ad and you get an idea. You sit here today and you get an idea. You hear a speaker and you get an idea for your business. And by the way, when that happens, always write the idea down and write 3 stars next to it, because if not, all you're gonna have is a notebook full of ideas, which is fantastic. But that idea that you know that is a game changer for you, that is gonna be really good, 3 stars, those ideas come when you don't expect it. Step number 2, this is mandatory for your success. Every single day, I spend 10 minutes. I did this morning. I've been up since 3:30 this morning. I did this morning at 5:15 in the morning. I do 10 minutes of daily strategic thinking. I take one thing about my life, my business, one improvement, and I spend 10 minutes. And I don't think horizontally. I drill for the breakthrough. The oil is underground. The diamonds are underground. The gold is underground. But what we are is we often scratch the surface. I need a brand. I need a logo. I need a website. I need to meet more people, rather than saying, you know what, right now I'm getting 100 leads, but I'm converting 2. Why? What am I saying? How am I saying it? And drilling until you get that daily aha moment after 10 minutes. 10 minutes. In fact, most ideas and problems can be solved, 80% of them in the first 4 minutes, and almost 100% of the problems can be solved after 10 minutes of focused strategic thinking. Step number 3, implementation stage. Ideas are nothing. Implementation is everything. Speed of implementation, from the moment that we come up with an idea to the moment we'll implement it, will determine how successful you're going to be. I have a 24-hour rule. Any ideas I come up with, within 24 hours, they'll be enacted. Many of the ideas you're gonna see here are things that come up on the spot, and I'm like, do this for next Wednesday, next Thursday, even though you're here and you may not have time to implement because you're here for the next 5 days. But what you can do is you can schedule it. I'll look at it next week at 2 p.m. because if not, that idea becomes nothing but a dream. And dreams don't come true, visions do. Dreamers talk, visionaries do. Branson and Musk are not dreamers, they're visionaries. Number 4, experimental stage. Every 6 months, all of you should experiment with an idea, a product, a service, maybe a different type of investor, to show your audience we're disrupting, we're trying. Apple experiments on products. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Google has over 18,000 engineers who just work on all kinds of ideas to find the next big idea. Because your failure to come up with another idea will disrupt the innovation stage. You need to innovate. Innovation. So you got to experiment, because if not, your business will stale. And what works now maybe won't work later. Step number 5, you have to change the culture of the people who work for you. Because what happens is they'll say, this is the way I've been doing it. Inability to change the culture of your people that work for you, or the people you do business with, or your business partner. The problem is that what happens is if you do the same thing, you're going to lose that market share. And you don't want to lose that market share. You have to change the culture. Now, here's how I change the culture. Rather than telling your people, here's how we're going to get done, explain them the why. It's like your parents saying, you can't go here. Why? Because I said so. But that doesn't make sense to me. I'm your parent, and I tell you, if anything, it just wants me to do the opposite. So we need to start explaining to our people, the people we do business, what is the why, so that they can understand why it's important we do what we do. Because if we just explain them the how, they're not going to buy into this vision that we have. And then step number 6, something that has been ingrained in my DNA by my coaches. How can we do this better, faster, more efficient? Better, faster, more efficient. Better, faster, more efficient. Better, faster, more efficient. Better, faster, more efficient. Something my coaches kept saying, JT, better, faster, better, faster, better, faster. For those of you who have millionaire flicks, you will hear every coaching session that I've ever done, from broke in the last 10 years to where I am today, over 500 hours. every decision, from broke, stuttering, not knowing a thing, to I am today, every decision. And you will see many, JT, how you're doing this better, how you doing it faster. But you don't understand, you're not in my business. And they would call me out on my BS. Better, faster, more efficient. And then step number 7, I want you to reinvent yourself. Think Madonna, think Starbucks, even think Apple. You need to reinvent yourself. Why? Because what you are now got you to where you are here today. And if you want to become a better entrepreneur, a better property investor, a better speaker, a better coach, you have to reinvent yourself. How you make 100,000 is different than 1 million. 1 million is different than 10. 10 is different than 100. 100 is different than a billion. What you need to do is at every level, reset the button. Said, what got me here is not what's going to get me here. Because if you don't reset, your business will eventually die. And step number 8, practice until it's natural. Over and over and over. Practice sales, practice everything. Think of business as a sport. Now, if you say to myself, JT, if you play golf and you're the type of person who plays golf and doesn't hit a good shot, and you say, well, it's just for fun, you'll never win. You'll never go to tournaments. You'll never get sponsorships, right? You're never going to make prize money. You're just going to have fun. You've got to have that competitive edge, because your competition is either taking your customer or you're taking it. They're not going to both anymore. They're picking one. And if you win, it's good for you, your family, your employees, everyone you do business. And if you lose, it's bad. You need to be bothered by failure, because saying, well, better luck next time is what losers say. Winners are bothered by failure. Winners think practice. Winners practice over and over. Watch the documentary on Facebook, Tom versus Time, Tom Brady. He's literally sitting there watching plays over and over and over, back, looking for things. He's literally practicing on the all summer to try to get a millisecond off his throw, because that's what greatness is. It's a matter of inches. Think about it, 100-meter run, 9.79 gold medal, 9.82 silver, 9.85 bronze. We're not talking about seconds. We're taking micro milliseconds. That is the edge of differentiation. And that comes from think practice. If you think practice, you will grow stronger. You will grow more confident, right? And the person that you're destined to be, that you have yet to tap in, is going to flourish. And remember, there is a lot of room at the top, and it's the bottom that's crowded. Never feel sorry for wanting to be the best at what you do. Because at the end of the day, you don't live once, you live every single day, and you die once. Think practice. And I promise you, this year will be your best year ever. Thank you very much. Thank you.